The vehicles that we get to test here in the new car press fleet are often higher spec models with all the features, bells and whistles, and in the case of trucks, most importantly, the big engine options. But out there in the real world, the hundreds of thousands of people are buying the 2.7 liter V6 motor here in the Ford F-150. So we finally got the opportunity to go test out what sort of fuel economy you can expect with Ford's entry-level, smaller turbocharged engine option. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2019 Ford F-150 with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. In this test, we're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this small turbocharged full-size truck. And before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. So this is a truck from my buddy John. This is his personal vehicle, and the reason that we are testing and covering this is because he had the Elevate rack system from Real Truck installed on here, as well as the Retrax tonneau cover. I shot an entire video, not exactly a how-to install, but a install review and kind of ownership review on this tonneau cover. It's a hard cover, so you see if you pop it up there, it slides closed like this, and then you can use it for putting things on top or underneath, and importantly, you can use these adjustable racks to put things on top or underneath as well. They hold up to 750 pounds static, I think 250 pounds per rack, and then 500 moving dynamic or something like that. But he's been really happy with it so far. I was really happy with how easy it was to install. It is a little bit pricey, but you're definitely getting what you pay for in terms of a very easy to use T-system that is compatible with other manufacturers' T-system accessories as well. So if you do want to pick up the Elevate rack and the Retrax Pro tonneau cover or any other accessories for your truck, check the link below, use the code DailyMotor, and you'll help support the channel and get yourself some good stuff for your truck or other vehicle from Real Truck. Other than that, this is a straightforward XLT Super Crew F-150 from 2019, so previous generation from what we've driven new, but this is what a lot of people are going to be picking up off the used car lot right now. This one's got just under 70,000 miles. I don't really know how well it's been maintained. I do know we have some General Grabber APT tires on here that seem to be maybe a little bit more aggressive than what you get stock, but a decent amount of tread life on there. Yeah. This one's going to be interesting. I don't know where this one's going to settle in. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this truck in its current configuration 24 MPG, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. Not only that, but it has certain shift points and start and stop points, slow down, speed ups, to perhaps slightly benefit smaller turbocharged motors with many gears, such as the 2.7 liter with a 10-speed here in the Ford F-150. But we know a lot of people use their vehicles for long, high, steady-state road trips, and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, tonight we're going to head over to the gas station, fill up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few other things to note for the test. Outside temperature is about 70 degrees. Nighttime temps right there. Our tire pressures are set to just a hair under, or a hair over 35 psi. The door placard says 35 psi, but when I filled it up, the tires were a little bit colder than I realized, so I think we came in at about a 36 psi cold. And this one doesn't have automatic climate control, so we're running the climate right about half for the test, right in the middle, with air conditioning on but recirc off. And of course, the racks back there are going to have a small detriment to fuel economy. I can't imagine they're going to be anything too bad, but we'll have that into consideration when we're getting our final number and kind of which direction we round, considering we do have a little bit of extra air resistance there. So without any further ado, let's head to the gas station. Okay, we are topped off, put a nice hearty 25 gallons into here, and we've got our GPS reset. We're going to reset the vehicle's trip computer. And side note, over what I assume is much more than 2,800 miles, considering it's been 651 hours of driving over that entire time, so probably the whole life of the truck, 62,000 miles. It's gotten 18.4 miles per gallon. I feel like that's not too terrible. Oh, let's also reset our little trip or fuel economy screen here. Our trip reset. And we've got the climate control running just slightly above middle, maybe actually right at the middle. We're just gonna have 1 fan speed AC on. And I think we're ready to go. Now we do have a few different drive modes in here, if I remember correctly. Where's our drive mode set? I thought we had drive modes, but maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'll find it partway through the drive and remind myself. But we do have obviously 2-wheel drive and 4 high and 4 low. We're gonna keep it in 2 high. And I think with that oh, there we go, DM, drive mode. I knew it was hiding there somewhere. Okay, Eco mode, because we got normal, tow haul, snow and wet, Eco, and Sport. We're gonna do this test in Eco. And we're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. Now the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy out of this truck, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, we're going to get up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, set our cruise control at a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour, and that should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Looks like our speedometer is a few miles per hour high. Having to get it up here. There's 71. Let's see what our actual digital readout is giving us. 70. Looks like 73. Bring it down here. There we go. 73 on the dash is giving us 71 on the GPS. So that is where we are going to settle in. And no sort of adaptive cruise control or anything to worry about here. So should be able to cruise pretty smoothly. Initial highway impressions. Feels like a truck, but not too loud in here. Most importantly, not hearing anything from those racks. No sort of whistling back there or anything like that. No sort of metallic clanging either. I think this is going to be a pretty smooth, straightforward run. So I'm going to continue on with the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the F-150 with the Elevate rack and the 2.7 liter. A little bit lower than that EPA figure according to the dash. We're looking at 21.5 MPG, and I'm sure a small part of that is due to the rack, but I think a larger part is probably due to the fact that we're just cruising at steady state speeds here, as opposed to doing any sort of kind of lower speed and shifting, everything like that, like the EPA's 48 mile an hour test would give us. However, comfort has been good, and it's been a nice easy drive, and in fact, we did a members only sound test on the sound system in here, and it's not too bad. It's a simple system, but it sounds crisp, it sounds good. And we did have one hiccup on the test. An accident happened just a few minutes in front of us going down the 5, and the highway stopped for a number of minutes. So I was stopped idling for probably about a minute to 2 minutes, and then had to get back going again on the highway. So that's a little abnormal. So we can give a slight bump in fuel economy as well. So looks like if the pump calculation ends up cooperating with our gauge, then we're going to be rounding up to 22 anyway, and I think that's going to be a pretty safe bump. Also, we got to do our tack shot. You can see with this 10 speed and the turbocharged 2.7 liter, we're cruising nice and easy, well under 2,000 RPM. And when you're in eco mode, it holds 10th gear just about as much as possible. And it certainly fights to get up to the highest gear as quickly as possible when you're driving. So that is something that might be a little frustrating too, but theoretically, we'll get better fuel economy. Pull back up to our pump and get this thing topped off. 5.222 gallons going in for our final fill. We traveled 100.3 miles, so 103 divided by that 5.222 is giving us, oh wow, quite a bit lower than the vehicle's readout, 19 miles per gallon, according to the pump fill. All right, so given that the vehicle was giving us almost 22, and we've got the rack on there, and we also, like I said, had that little bit of a slowdown, I am gonna give the bump, but not all the way up. We're just gonna go to 20 miles per gallon here for the Ford F-150 with the 2.7 liter. Now that is quite a bit lower than the EPA's number. I know a lot of people are going to be kind of hoping that they get a little bit of a better figure there, but hey, you can, when you're moving a certain mass through a certain amount of air, there's only so much you can do, and it doesn't really matter the size of motor, you still gotta make enough energy in order to propel the vehicle. With the Super Crew, we've got either a 26 or a 36 gallon fuel tank, so 26 times 20 miles per gallon, giving you an effective highway cruising range of 520 miles. But if you were to have the 36 gallon extended fuel tank times 20, you'd be looking at 720 miles of real world usable range here in the 2019 Ford F-150 2.7 liter. Okay, so what do you think? Is that worth getting the smaller motor, or should you just step up, get yourself the 3.5, or maybe even that 5.0? I'd love to get the chance to test one of the 5 liters, but we do have some coverage of the 3.5 in various trims, so check the link below to see more of those. And thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out the link if you want to buy yourself some real truck accessories like that Retrax Pro or the Elevate rack or any of our other covers that we've used. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.